Welcome, everyone, to this week's podcast. I'm Michelle Pascoe, and as you can see from my background, I'm not in my beautiful studio, but instead I'm in the Kiriland Resort and Spa here in Scottsdale, Arizona, as I'm attending the National Speakers Association Conference Influence. And as so much as it is a lovely room, it is going to be 110 degrees outside today. So I'm trying to stay in here to record this while it is air conditioned. However, we do have the glare. So please forgive me for this 1 week where I'm not in my beautiful studio. So it's the end of the month, and I wanted to just do a recap of the various speakers I've had for the month of July. And it's been all about teams. So I'm just going to go over the thoughts that I took away from the past guests this month, as well as give you some updates of what I've found here in the hospitality industry in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Phoenix. And starting off with Dr. Samantha Worthington was a real foundation for the month, talking about consumer psychology. She is an award-winning expert in consumer psychology. Samantha unpacked the deep emotional layers of the customer experience. She reminded us that true loyalty is built on belonging. In the club and hospitality world, we're not just offering food, drinks, or beds. We're offering community. Samantha talked about the importance of creating inclusive environments where members feel seen, valued, and emotionally connected. People don't just visit a club, they join one. That sense of that tribe builds long-term engagement. Samantha also explained the power of that positive emotional anchors, moments of surprise, delight, and personalised kindness. Those micro moments that are what stick. So every moment matters. A smile, that eye contact, a remembered name, or a favourite dish or beverage. All of these trigger oxytocins and strengthen emotional loyalty. Samantha emphasised that businesses must go beyond customer journey maps and insisted on the map of not just the customer journey map, but the emotional journey map. What are guests feeling at every touch point? From the moment they consider visiting to the moment they leave. That feeling audit can reveal more than any standard survey ever will. And a personal favorite line that I really loved and I've thought so much about after speaking with her was, personalised kindness is free and it pays exceptional returns. So that was my takeout of Dr. Samantha Worthington. Her whole episode is just so interesting, and I'm sure you'll certainly enjoy it. If you haven't heard it yet, or you have, please re-listen, because I know I still take down a lot of notes. My second guest was Jennifer Donovan, who looked at small business communities. She's in marketing, and she tells the story how she gathered together a community in our regional areas in Australia, and not just build it in her local community, but across social media into hundreds of thousands of people. Jennifer Donovan is a powerhouse in rural marketing and founder of the viral Buy from a Bush business movement. Jen talked about how real community isn't just built with content, it's built with care. Her Facebook group grew to over 400,000 members because it wasn't just a platform, it was a safe space. People felt seen, heard, and supported. That's what loyalty really does look like, doesn't it? She reminded us that every successful brand needs to ask, what do we want to be famous for? It's not about the flashy ads. It's about the values, consistency, and the storytelling. Clubs in particular must look beyond the logos and showcase the real people, the real values, not just what's happening with the promotions, and real stories behind the scenes, connecting your frontline and management teams and back of house with your members, your guests, and certainly your community and beyond. She shared the concept of pulling out the dusty mission statement and just writing it, but actually living it. When your team can articulate your values and your purpose, your guests feel it. And most importantly, share your good news. Tell the stories. As Jen says, stop being your own best kept secret. Oh my goodness, certainly a lot of gems in that episode. Then we moved on to Marc Haine. Now, Marc Haine is from Edmonton in Canada and just loves and is much as passionate about the hospitality industry, leadership, and the customer experience as I am. And we really had a fantastic conversation because, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We want to create these amazing experiences for our members, our guests, our customers, our clients that will have them not only returning, but actually recommending us to other businesses. And that's how we grow. So Marc's analogy was brilliant. He described service as a performance. The venue is your stage, your team is the cast. The curtain goes up every time a guest walks through the door. He spoke about intentionality. When we design service like a production, we plan each moment, the lighting, the music, the script, the feeling. He asked, when was the last time you walked your venue like a guest? He also talked about modeling behaviors. If leaders aren't kind, present, and passionate backstage, we can't expect our team to deliver excellence on stage. He shared his moment of revelation while doing dinner theatre, seeing the audience laugh, connect, feel, and then he realized hospitality is no different. Every touch point is an opportunity to stir emotion and create memory. His challenge to us was be the director your team needs. Rehearse the values, set the scene, then let your people shine. The whole analogy about being on the stage is something that really resonates with me. And over the past, 31 years in this business, it is, you have to own your mood when you come to work. It's not bringing it with you. People are coming to you to spend their money, to have an enjoyable time. And so they want to be met. They want to be greeted and seen and interact with people that are happy to be in the workplace. It is all about service. That's what we're in the hospitality business, about being hospitable. So it is turning on those lights on the stage. It's opening those curtains and being there intentionally for our members' guests to make those moments matter for them. And my final guest for the month of July was Steve Sid. He's the co-founder of Catering HQ Group. And wow, I first met Steve many years ago in the industry, and his business has grown. And over the COVID period, in the episode, he talks about how he has now built out these 4 pillars within his business of service with his co-founder, Albie. It's a really interesting journey of hearing not about how he's built the business, but also that connection with his team, which is so important. And then the team replicating the values and the vision and the mission of Catering HQ Group into those individual venues. And then, of course, thinking and combining those values and mission as well. He has over 350 staff, and he shares his forward-thinking approach to leadership and innovation. What struck me most was how Steve views automation, not as a replacement for people, but as an enabler for better service. AI answering the phones, to smart kitchen systems, handling compliance. Steve's businesses use technology to free up staff to do what they do best, connecting with workers. He talked about workforce reform. Too often, hospitality is seen as a stepping stone, not a career. Steve's challenges by identifying champions within the team and creating pathways for growth, promoting from within, mentoring and investing in training, all to turn the stopover jobs into lifelong vocations. And then there was Hospo in a box. his franchise model for smaller or regional venues that struggle with staffing or resources. From food supply to operational tech to online training, this model allows small businesses to deliver consistent quality experiences. His advice: don't fear technology, use it to amplify humanity. That's how we build teams who stay, grow, and shine. So, over these 4 speakers, we explored the consumer psychology, the connection with our frontline team and our guests, how we market to our community and beyond, and also how to use innovation and technology, but still keeping the human side to things. Now, that's something that I truly have loved and built upon over these past 3 decades, whether it's through my frontline training or my middle management program, or of course, our mystery shopping program, our own software, our own proprietary software. Through that research, we have discovered and we have got so much data on our clients to really look at every aspect of the customer journey, which does include both the objective and subjective scoring, where Dr. Samantha Worthington touched on that experience journey. It's all very well to do surveys or to ask our customers, did we meet your expectations? Yes. Things in place? Yes. But do we ever ask them, how did we make them feel? Because that is the journey that is so important. See, over the last week, being here, traveling in Phoenix and Scottsdale, I've enjoyed many memorable moments, whether it's the coffee at Starbucks, where I go in and I have my half-strength latte, grande, kids temperature, because it's really nice. But my husband doesn't drink coffee or tea. So it's trying to find a cool drink in this very hot weather that will be not only cooling, but also delicious. So he likes something fruity and punchy. So there we were in the Scottsdale Fashion Square complex, and we popped into Starbucks, and the lovely girl behind the counter suggested the particular drink that they had, this mango juice drink at the moment with dragon fruit in it. And then she goes, but if you want to make it extra special, I suggest you put a shot of peach juice in it. So what the heck? Of course, she's suggesting it. There she is. She's behind the counter. She's obviously suggested it before, got feedback from her customers, and we put the extra shot of peach juice in this drink. Now, this wasn't advertised. This was her suggestion. And of course, the first thing that I said to my husband was, well, what is it like? And you could taste that peach juice, but it took it from a great drink to an amazing drink. Now it's a memorable experience, all because of her just suggesting. So what are your team doing? How are they creating these amazing moments? If you've been to America, or perhaps you've heard about the Cheesecake Factory. Now, it is a big franchise, and I've been to a number of them over the years. They have a phenomenal menu. I mean, we talk about reducing our menu, reducing those SKUs because of the cost of goods, but not the Cheesecake Factory. The menu has a wire coil, and it is just page after page after page. Now, of course, they are famous for the amazing cheesecakes, but they're also famous for, in my eyes, the cheeseburger spring rolls, the amazing other hamburgers, appetizers, small treats. Shepherd's pie is another big one. They have so much to offer. And so when we went in there, just up here at Scottsdale the other night, sitting down, I was waited upon by this lovely girl, Lexi. Now, I watched her and the team and the managers. They never stopped. They were always on the move, checking guests in. It's one of those places that certainly you can reserve a table, but it really is open to walk-ins. And so people were walking in, so you've got lots of people lining up, waiting for tables, they're moving them. So everybody is eyes up, watching where are the diners, where are they going, where are they up to with their meals, but not rushing the process at all, but just being really alert. I loved watching the manager who stood beside the lady who was taking, or actually she was a young girl, there taking the bookings and then assigning tables. He never once took over. He didn't micromanage, but what he was there for was support. And it worked really well. And this was actually something even Lexi mentioned to me when at the end of the night I got my check. I said, oh, look, can I ask you a couple of quick questions? Why do you work here? And what makes you stay here? And what's the management like? Now, when it came down to management, she said, just great leadership. You know, he's there. He doesn't micromanage, as I said. He's just there for support, but he's on the floor. People can see him, but he's not just seen as the manager. He's seen there by the team as being one of them, going to him if they need that support or perhaps have a question. But why did she work there? Well, it was quite personal. She said 5 years ago, I was divorced and I didn't want to be back in the corporate world. And I thought, I'm going to go into hospitality. Now, going into hospitality in a fine dining restaurant, or you can go into takeaway like a McDonald's, or something like the Cheesecake Factory, where it is flat out all the time. She chose the Cheesecake Factory, and she's been there now for 5 years. It's much more than a job. She goes, this is a community of people. All the team work really, really well together. And she goes, and my most favorite part about this job is creating experiences for every person that comes through this door. I want them to have an experience while dining here. I want them to go away thinking I made the right decision. And I thought, this is not just about a concept of, okay, well, you can go to Cheesecake Factory and you know what you're going to get because the menu's there and it's all those delicious food. But it was actually her take on what she is wanting to do. She's wanting to create this experience here in this loud, busy, chaotic, space that she's working in, to individualize that for every person that comes and dines there. And she certainly did. It was just that moment that I thought to myself, you know what? It doesn't matter where you work. It's what's the experience that you're creating, not only for your customers, your diners in this certain circumstances, but for your team, but more importantly, for yourself. Now, out of hospitality for a moment, I always love to shop at Macy's. And there's quite a few other stores that I shop at, but I'll leave that for another podcast. But Macy's is one of those stores that, big franchise in multiple states across America, if not in all of them, and they have multiple stores within each state. So there we were shopping. I'd already done all my, carrying massive bags. But as I've said, I had my husband on this trip and he said, look, I really need a new wallet and we'll have a look at some shirts. We've got a big function coming up here in a couple of nights' time, but also a wallet. I've had this old one for a while. So there we are. We're in the men's department. We're wandering now. Now there's not many staff. It's not because they don't want to employ. I mean, I can't believe every time we go past a business, everybody's saying, would you like to join our team? So like many countries around the world, there is high employment, low numbers that are looking for employment. So everybody is sort of going, oh, we'd love to have you work with us. So staff were scarce on the floor. There was a young chap, he comes up to us, Joshua, and, he smiles, he said hello. He's in the change room because, oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but I don't like it when people just drop their clothes. I thought females were bad in our change rooms, but males are just as bad. No, a little bit off topic here, but that really ticks me off with our customers. So he was in there and he goes, oh, I haven't been in here for about an hour and I'm just picking everything up. But then he noticed, he said, look, but can I help you? And he said, oh, look, we're just looking for wallets. So he just went over a couple of things and he goes, by all means, just call out for me if you need me. I'm just here. And then when you made a decision, just let me know and I'll come over to the registry, because he was looking after the register. He was cleaning up the fitting rooms. He was trying to help customers. And then we said, look, that's great, but we're also looking for some shirts. And so we went through this process. We call him over and we get to the register and we said, so why do you work here? And he goes, it's funny. He goes, I finished school, and he was from a country area in Arizona, and he's come to the big smoke of Phoenix. And he said, I was probably about 10 months ago, I think he started. And he said, I came here, and he goes, for the first few months, I thought, this is not for me. I'm not enjoying this at all. And then he said, you know what? Look at it a different way. Think about what's those experiences that I can create. How do I have a great day and my team, but also really make a great experience for my customers? And he turned it around, and he now absolutely loves it. How often do people go, oh, I don't like this job, and they leave it to go for something else and may never find that job they're looking for? But here's this young guy, it's his first job out of school. He hasn't gone to college, and he goes, I'm going to make a difference in my life, taking this job and doing something that I love. It's all that belief in himself of what he could do, but also just saying to himself, enjoy it. This is my job. Instead of complaining or coming to work, oh, I don't like it. He's made a difference to himself. And I can certainly tell you it made a big difference to us and the customer experience we have. So that wraps up this episode, all about the customer experience. What's the journey that you're creating, not only for your customers in your business, but how are you making them feel? What's the experience that they're feeling? What are they saying when they leave your business? And most importantly, how does it make them feel, your customers, your members and guests? But also, how does it make you and your team feel? Have a great day, great week, and I will see you on the podcast next week. Bye.